Wominjeka Chomigan, welcome to the Botanic Gardens. My name's Jacoby. I'm a cultural guide here at the Royal Botanic Gardens, Victoria. I'm a Gunditjmara and Djab Wurrung man. I come from the Western Districts of Victoria. And I want to acknowledge the traditional custodians of this land. I pay my respects to their elders, both past and present. I acknowledge that spirit of this land. We're here in Long Island in the Botanic Gardens. Long Island is my favourite place in the Botanic Gardens. And that's because this section, it shows us this landscape, the true identity, and it represents that swampy country. We have really dense, lush vegetation, and this area is really symbolic of those wetlands. And for us to connect to the land that we're on, we really need to connect to not just what it was, but what it continues to be as well. So you can probably hear those bird calls. Those are the calls of bell miners. So bell miners love Long Island because of the eucalypts here. They love to feed on the lerps, the little sugary clusters that grow on the leaves. So right next to me is Moyan, the silver wattle. So Moyan in the Bunwurrung dialect is a very significant tree. You might recognize Moyan if you've ever been to Kandurim. That's held in October. Traditionally, it's a big coming together for marriage, trade, to compete as well. It's been done for tens of thousands of years and traditionally held in the Birrung Ma, where it is today, and also in Chomigan here in this area. Very important meeting place. Moyan has a lot of uses for us. We see this sap that's oozing out of this trunk. Now this is a reaction from insects that burrow into it, and it's kind of like an immune system reaction. And this sap though, high in sugar, you mix it with Warwick, the sap from that Banksia, you make a really strong sweet drink, like an energy drink. Moyan gives us not just food, but medicine as well. And this sap can help with digestion, and particularly the wood is important, used for the handles of the greenstone axes. We're looking at some really beautiful greenhood and spider orchids. Both these two orchids are quite rare in Victoria. There are about 1,200 to 1,400 different species of terrestrial orchids throughout the Australian continent. Very important food plants, but heavily impacted by soil compression. With Europeans arriving here, and particularly those cattle and sheep they brought along, compressed the land, made it almost impossible for that next generation to grow. They like to go dormant during the warmer months, and then they spring back and they'll emerge out of the soil in winter. So as these start to grow, they'll flower, they'll be pollinated by insects, and they'll continue that cycle. But orchids, extremely important bush food. So right here we have what we call Corandurk of the Woiwurrung language group, known as the Victorian Christmas bush. You might recognize that word Corandurk, a Corandurk mission in Hillsville, and it means the fire stick, being that the nice straight long stems will be harvested, dried out, and used as fire sticks to produce fire through friction. And this is an extremely important medicinal plant, a medicine tree. Corandurk was used at first contact to treat all of those illnesses that were brought over by Europeans. So this one used in steam baths, produced and inhaled to help with any of those flu-like and cold-like symptoms. I'm going to break it up and apply a bit of heat to it. And that's going to allow us to vaporize those oils and make that smell a bit stronger. And this contains a lot of menthol. Menthol you'll find in mints and a lot of medicines like Vicks VapoRub as well. It's a very useful medicinal plant for us to inhale this. Help with any of those sicknesses we might have. As we come along this trail on Long Island, you can see embedded footprints of traditional custodians, as well as the kangaroo and the emu. And these prints, they tell a story about the continuing connection that traditional custodians have to this land, to Long Island, to Chomigan. Thanks for coming along with us and exploring Long Island as we've looked at this beautiful and lush landscape. Follow in our footsteps and see its beauty. Come visit us at the Royal Botanic Gardens.